everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to do like a palette collection. I just basically wanted to show you my eyeshadow palettes, and honestly it's probably more for me. I just want to document like the stuff that I have at the start of the year, so when it gets to the end of the year I can see what new additions have come into my collection, what things I've let go of, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, please make sure that you like, comment and subscribe, and let's just get started. So I have all of my eyeshadow palettes here in this box. They all just sort of live in here for the moment, and I pick out, you know, what I want to use when I want to use it, because we don't really have any other storage. So I'm just going to pick some stuff out of here and I'll just share it with you. So the first palette I have here is the Revolution and Emily Knoll palette. This is the Once palette, and honestly this thing is destroyed. Like, it's in two pieces. I use this mirror all the time to do my makeup, but yeah, even like all of the pans and stuff are just destroyed. I just literally filmed a review of this, which is what I have on my eyes today. So I'll link that video down below if it's up before this video. If not, then look out for that. But this palette, yeah, I don't love it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love the formula of the mattes or the shimmers. I find them kind of hard to blend. I feel like their colour is definitely not true to what you see here. Like these shimmers, all of these like pinky purple shimmers, they all come out the exact same on the eye, and it is so frustrating because all of these colours look so beautiful and I just want them to show up like how they show up here. Like this colour especially, what's it called, Grateful, like, oh, it has my heart, but it just doesn't show up how I want it to show up. It shows up more like a goldy. So yeah, honestly this palette I do not love. And I will probably depart with at some point because obviously it's broken and I don't really like it. And the second palette I have right here, which I used a little bit of this today, is the Sunkissed Make Me Fancy. I just got this for Christmas. This is how many shades is in here? 100 shade eyeshadows, and like it's just so overwhelming when I look at it. I don't know what to do with it. I will probably keep it, you know, because like there's a lot of different shadows in here. Like if I want to do a blue look, I've got blues, you know. It's kind of nice. I feel like the pigmentation is not that great. The shimmers, not that great. Like nothing's like that great, but it's like not awful either. It's kind of like a little handy palette to have. It has so many different shades, so yeah. Then the next one I see in here is my Colourpop one. This is my Bye Bye Birdie palette. This palette is beautiful. Love the mattes, love the quality. The quality is insane. I love the packaging. Obviously I wish it had a mirror because then it would be really travel friendly because it's really small and compact, but it's beautiful. Has a magnetic closure, so it's not going to open up or anything. Yeah, really 10 out of 10. I want to try more Colourpop palettes because honestly like the quality just, it feels insane. The next one I have out next to me is my Revolution by Petra 36 Professional Eyeshadows. This again is broken. Like all of my Revolution ones are broken. I don't think the packaging is very like good quality. It seems to like break the second that you drop it, and I am so clumsy. I drop stuff literally all the time. I literally dropped my phone like 4 times in a row earlier. This palette is really beautiful. I actually like the pigmentation of this. Like you have all of your like boring neutrals here. You have some really beautiful shimmers like this one. This is called Hubby's Fave, which is gorgeous. The yellow doesn't have enough pigmentation for me, but Apricot Pie is a beautiful shade. This OMG shade is so nice if you want to do like a bright pink. It doesn't stain your eyelids either. There's really nice shimmers in here, some really nice mattes. It's a really nice palette to have. Obviously again, mirrors would be handy, but I like all of the shades. The next one I have next to me is this again by Revolution. This is the Neutrals versus Neutrals. Let me open this up. I don't think this one's broken. Oh wait, no, I literally just broke it a second ago because I dropped it on the floor. So this one is broken as well. So this is what this one looks like. So you have some like really pretty shimmers. Yeah, some nice like different shades in here. Not like everyday shades though, but oh, I just dropped it. It's like these shimmers are beautiful. I think the mattes are nice. I haven't actually used them in a while, but I used this shade the other day. Yeah, a nice palette to have. Not an essential palette, not an everyday palette. Don't reach for it really ever, but you know. The next one in here is the W7 Total Eclipse palette. I use this again in a full face first impressions. We'll link it down below. Yeah, so this is what this looks like. Oh, if I can open it, Jesus Christ. This is beautiful. Like, they're really, really nice. Nice pigmentation to the mattes. Obviously, it's not the best quality because they are, it's really, really cheap to buy. So these do feel a bit sort of like chunky, like they're not smooth and buttery like you might want, but nice shades in here. Really good if you're doing like a colourful look, not obviously in like a neutral everyday. Like I have tried to make a neutral everyday shade and I just sort of ended up using this Hercules shade, this Cassiopeia shade, Constellation, I think, one of these like bronzes, but it sort of, there wasn't like enough depth to it. It sort of came out like orangey brown and I wanted more sort of like darkness. So definitely not an everyday palette again, but it's nice to have. And the next palette here is my Technic palette. This palette is really nice. This was like great for autumn. Like it has all of your like classic autumn shades. Really good shades to make like a sunset eye. Yeah, it's a really nice palette. The quality on this is like really, really good actually. Especially these shimmers. Like this shade here is beautiful. It's like a peachy gold duochrome shift. Like it's really, really beautiful. I don't think I can say actually a bad word about it. I really, really like this palette. Really rate it. Think it is actually amazing quality. Next I have this PS Colour Artistry Amber Fire eyeshadow palette. So this is from Primark. This is sort of like another warm toned neutral kind of palette, you know. It's kind of like fire inspired, as it says, Amber Fire. The quality on this again is not incredible because it's from Primark. Like they do feel a bit sort of like, they're not sort of like smooth, but they have nice pigmentation to them. Yeah, no complaints. Like I think this is a really good everyday palette, especially if you like warmth. I feel like I use this a lot for the mattes and then I will usually pull another palette for the shimmer because I find the shimmers to not be that great, but the mattes I actually really, really like. So this is the Makeup Obsession Kisses palette. I have not used this in forever, but this palette is again beautiful. This is like your pink purple lover's dream. You have so many different colours. However, this shade here, Date Night, this one does stain your eyes like pretty bad if you put that on. And a lot of the different pinks that you like, even this one that you would think have like different tones, different undertones, and they do all sort of pull the same colour on the eye, which I find quite a lot with Revolution palettes. I haven't actually used this shade Chocolates, which looks interesting. Like it's like, I feel like it's like a topper shade maybe. It's like a silvery brownie colour. It's a really interesting shade. I don't really see how it fits in with the colour story, but it's interesting. This shade up here, Flashlight, looks really nice. It's like a white gold kind of vibe. Yeah, it's a fine palette, especially if you want that colour story. I think at the time I was looking for like a red or something, and I was hoping that this shade Peonies Please would do it for me, but it doesn't. It's not like a red. Like it might look red there, but it's not red on the eye. It pulls like pink. So the next palette I've got is I have this Rimmel London Magnifies Spice Edition. And the only thing is that I actually really like this palette. I think it's great for every day. Like some of these shades are just, they're just stunning. Like they're honestly really, really, really pretty. And it's just so irritating because L'Oreal is not cruelty free. And I really enjoy this palette. And I think that there's some beautiful, like interesting shades, like this dark, like brown. Beautiful all over the lid. Some nice neutrals in here. Really nice pigmentation. Really nice quality. Nice variety. You got the cool, you've got the warmth, you've got depth, you've got light. It's actually a really nice palette. But it's not cruelty free and it annoys me. Like why can't they just be cruelty free? Why do they have to test on animals? I don't understand it. It's a palette that I own. I bought it before, obviously I realised. And it's just so irritating because now I have it in my collection. Like I don't want to get rid of it because I really like it. And then the next palette is this I Heart Revolution Unicorn palette. I actually got this as a free gift when I bought something off Revolution's website. Super cute, like little pastel shades. Actually really nice pigmentation. I really like this like lilac colour up here. It's really pretty. And I like the fact that you've got like a little yellow shimmer in here as well. Like I think that's a really nice touch. You don't see it very often. Some very interesting shades like with this like silver and this dark purple, and you can definitely make a full oh, that looks so nice. You can definitely make a full look out of just this palette if you want to do sort of like a pastel-y pinky purple vibe. And the next one I have is this Steve Laurent Wild Thing palette. This is cruelty free. I got this in a glossy box, and this is what it looks like. It's just a little neutral palette. It has a little mirror in here. Yeah, it's interesting. I always want to use this shade, but I always want to use all of the shimmers, honestly, because they just look absolutely stunning. Like, they just look beautiful. But I never end up with a look that I like. Like, these two browns at the bottom, they're just not enough variation in there for me. Like, I try to make a look out of it, and it just, you can't really make a look without pulling in the black, and I don't want a black, but the black is really nice and pigmented, but it takes over the whole look so easily. But these shimmers are beautiful. So honestly, I take the shimmers of these sometimes when I've put down, like I mentioned with the Primark palette, I will use like the mattes from this. Like, I will use like the mattes from this, like all of my neutrals, and then like pull in a shimmer or something from here. Some other little palettes. I have my Body Collection ones, these little £6 ones. So I have this green one, which is in the shade Envy, which you only have one matte, which is disappointing, and it's kind of an ugly colour. It's like a khaki colour. The shimmers in here, I don't know how like fab they are. But yeah, if you wanted like just green shimmer heaven, then here you go. I might honestly use this at some point. I don't actually know if I'm a fan of like the colours. Like, I feel like they're a bit ugly. Obviously that's probably just personal preference, but I am also a bit annoyed that there's only one matte in here, because you 100% have to pull from a different palette. And then this is the other one I had. This is in Red Carpet Glam. The quality on this is, again, not the greatest, but in this one you get three mattes and three mattes, 2 shimmers, and like a pressed glitter. And this glitter is really pretty, but personally I don't love to put glitter on my eyes. I just find it really irritating. But yeah, this palette works fine. Nice pigmentation. I think I remember that it had nice pigmentation. I haven't used it in forever. Like, I've just tried to wipe that glitter off, and now I have glitter all over me, which is obviously the annoying thing with glitter. But it's nice that this is included in there, especially in a £6 palette. Like, this is way better balanced than this. So what's next? Next I have this little palette from Shein. This is the Magic Nation Diamond Eyeshadow palette. Firstly, I hate the packaging. I think it looks so tacky. Like, obviously, again, personal preference, but it's just not my thing. I think it looks really tacky. I remember back in the day, I bought this literally only for the yellow. I only wanted the yellow shade. That is why I bought it. But yeah, it's this. You have like a bunch of bright shades. Really not great quality. They actually feel really nice and like buttery. But yeah, like these two, they basically look all the same, yeah. And then this is just a bit apricot-y. Like, it looks so pretty. Like, there's some really nice shades. But honestly, the main reason I use these is these little pressed glitters. Like this one, I'll just show you quickly. This one is like a pink glitter that has like moons in it. And then the other one is like a yellow glitter that has just like little yellow glitter things in it. And then obviously you have the 2 shimmers. So that's actually the only reason why I ever go into it, is only ever for the glitters. Yeah, I've never actually tried to make a cohesive look out of it. Maybe I should. So yeah, let me know if you want to see that. Let me know if you want to see me make a cohesive look out of this palette, because I feel like that would be interesting and fun. The next palette that I have in here is my Imagination one, which I didn't love. I feel like the shimmers just do not perform how I want them to. The one thing that really excites me about this palette is this butterfly shade, which just doesn't show up like true to how it should. If you look next to it, next to this shade, like it looks a bit different there, but on the eye it really does not show up. I don't know, I don't love it. I don't feel like there's enough variation here. I don't even really like the transitions. Like, I never actually reach for this palette at all. The only time I've ever reached for it is I used this mauve shade, which is like an orange shade. I used it in a Halloween look to create a pumpkin, and that was it. I'll be surprised honestly if that makes it through to next year. So this is the I do not know how to say this. This is the Beauty Legacy palette. Really like this palette. If you've seen my review of it, love this shade. Oh my god, this shade is actually like, it's beautiful. I love the highlight, I love the blush, and I love the bronzer. I love that there's just all the steps in here that you would need. I really like the what the hell do you call it? I really like the transition shade. Not actually a fan of these two down here. I would have liked something a bit more warm toned, because I feel like I always end up with a cool toned look even if I don't necessarily want one. But yeah, I really like this palette, and if like I was traveling or something, I would take this. Like when I went into hospital, I packed this because I got my eyeshadows and all of my face steps pretty much in one, so it's just handy. Next we have the Revolution Jack palette. If you watched my review, you know how I feel about this. I don't like this palette. Honestly, I've probably reached for this palette more than the Homogenation one, because I actually kind of like the neutrals and how it could make like a nice fall look. Like I like this colour down here, this like plummy chocolate brown. Like I like the neutrals in this palette. This gold is really pretty. I've used it before. I used all of these like blue tones in like a icy wintry look I did. And I did like a snowflake look on camera, and I think I used some of these. So I like some of the neutrals. This shade down here, I don't know what the hell is wrong with it, but it just is, it's like chalky and it does not show up on the eye at all. It would have been a pretty shade, but it just, yeah, it's not good quality. I haven't used the purples yet to know. I should probably try and use them. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't hate it. It's not something that I reach for very often. Some of those shades are really pretty and I would actually like to play around with it, I think. And then the last palette is my most expensive palette that I have purchased, and it is my Jeffree Star Jawbreaker. I know there's a lot of controversy around Jeffree Star, and quite honestly I don't really like him as a person. I feel like he's full of bullshit. But yeah, I really like this palette. It's really pretty. I love the packaging, and I feel like the product doesn't necessarily like just because I like this product does not mean that I like the person that made it, if that makes sense, or that I support them. Like, yes, I did support him in a small way by purchasing this, but I purchased it before all the controversy and stuff, and it's a really pretty palette, and you know, I spent a lot of money on it and I don't want to throw it away, because in a way that would almost be like he was winning, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, this palette. It's really, really beautiful. The shimmers are outstanding. Like, these shimmers are, they're beautiful. They're metallic. They're so pigmented. They're probably the best shimmers that I have. The matte's okay. There's a lot of fallout with this palette. Hello, baby. And a lot of these shades, like raspberry, licorice, cherry wet, they all come up at like the same colour. Like, they don't really look different on the eye. But yeah, I really like the bright colours in here. I feel like the green as well, I feel like they don't really show up any different. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some problems, and I don't think it's worth the money.
I knew you were on about this palette, you know, when you started saying they all look the same and you actually put them on.
Yeah, I feel like this palette, the shimmers are really outstanding, really nice pigmentation. The mattes are a little lackluster, a lot of fallout with the shimmers as well, but with the mattes, a lot with the mattes, a lot with the shimmers as well. There's just a lot of fallout. I feel like the pigmentation is not actually the best. Like, I would actually want more from like a £55 palette. Some of the shades show up like very similar, if not identical, on the eye, so even though it looks like there's a lot of variation and depth levels and different undertones here, it does not look like that on your eye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know, and I can do more like foundations, concealers, all of that jazz, even though I don't have a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's just nice to document it. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe after you finish this video. Check out the videos linked below, and I'll see you later. Bye.